Hi, this is Dancing Rabbit, and welcome to another Saturday Pagan Perspective. This week's topic is Ouija boards. I have very limited Ouija board experience that I'd like to talk to you first, and then second, give you some of my impressions, my opinions on Ouija board use. First time I ever saw a Ouija board, I was about 8 years old, and my sister and I were spending some time at my grandmother's house. Now, unlike my other grandmother, this grandmother really didn't play with us, and she just kind of ignored us kids and went on about her housework, and she didn't have any toys for us to play with either. I guess if she had managed to keep any of my mother's or my aunt's toys, they would have been girl toys, and I wouldn't have been too interested in them anyway. But in the process of rummaging around looking for something to play with, we came across my granddad's old Ouija board. He apparently was at least mildly or academically interested in the occult and the paranormal, because he had a Ouija board and he had an old deck of tarot cards, but we never talked about it. I think he was a little bit embarrassed to have something like that around. So we found this Ouija board. My grandmother had it in the kitchen, and she used it to roll out biscuits and bread on. So you can see about how seriously they took it. Apparently I asked my granddad, my grandmother, my mom about it, and got enough information that when I got back home, I made my own Ouija board with a piece of notebook paper and some crayons, and I made a little pointer and crayoned it so well that it was real slick and slippery and waxy on both sides. Now, at the time, I was really interested in stage magic, and I discovered quickly that I could manipulate the pointer and get it to spell out messages. So this became one of my tricks, and I spent the next couple of weeks fooling my friends, or at least I thought I was fooling them, that this piece of paper was giving them messages from the beyond or somewhere. I got tired of it pretty quickly and really haven't fooled with the Ouija board since. I didn't have any bad experience with it, didn't really have any great experience with it either, because I wasn't seriously using it. I was doing it more as a sleight of hand type magic trick. I think that the negative experiences that some people have had with the Ouija board are due to a number of factors. First off, most of the people that mess around with the Ouija board are completely untrained. They're not pagan, they have no experience at all with any form of divination, and are just playing around with something to see what happens, maybe hoping something will happen. They're using it apart from any sort of religion or ethical system, and I think any time that you divorce witchcraft or magic from a religion, that you stand a risk of getting into some trouble. Thirdly, they do it without casting a circle of any kind or using any other of the sorts of shielding or protection that we pagans typically use with any form of divination. Fourthly, these Ouija board experiences quite often happen on that dark and stormy night on a sleepover, or like Kyle related, his little sister and her friend sneaking off and locking themselves in the bathroom to play Ouija board. And then lastly, it's the reputation of the Ouija board, from things like Christian fundamentalist propaganda and the movies and the TV shows, that people are expecting something bad and creepy to happen. I don't know that there is anything inherently bad or evil about the Ouija board. It does seem to be a form of possession somewhat similar to automatic writing, or some of the things that the Haitian Vedantists do when they are ridden by the spirits. And I would think that a rather high-powered form of divination like that should first of all be done by somebody that has some experience with it, somebody that integrates it with their religion, somebody that knows how to cast a circle, knows how to do shielding, knows how to ground any excess energy afterwards. I'd also suggest that if you're going to do this, that you do it not on a dark and stormy night, but maybe on a bright sunny afternoon. My early experiences with the Ouija board and a lot of the historical evidence about the early spiritualist movement indicates that it's very easy for somebody to manipulate the pointer and fake a Ouija board experience, much to the surprise and wonder of those being faked out. So what about if you did the Ouija board by yourself? Nick Dutch has at least one video up about Ouija board, and in one of them he talks about using a Ouija board alone and his impression that he was able to subconsciously have a mental picture of the Ouija board. And so when he's doing it by himself with his eyes closed and the pointer stops on a letter, he opens his eyes, records the letter and so forth, that it's not so much a spiritual experience as it is a way of getting in touch with his subconscious mind. Now, Nick is kind of an agnostic about a lot of things, and so to go beyond what Nick has said, if your subconscious mind is connected to the board or the image of the board itself, and then your subconscious mind is connected to something outside, something beyond yourself, I can see how messages might actually come through. So, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience. I did have some thoughts. If you'd like to try it on your own, I think it would be interesting if people made videos or posted back to some of the Pagan Perspective hosts this week's videos about their experience. And then we'll get maybe a little broader outlook on what this whole Ouija board thing is about. So, till next time, Dancing Rabbit, wishing you peace.